Let's go to Ashley St. Pierre Rogers, Folsom, Louisiana. You can't even fit her name on the board. Look at this, rookie. This young lady's a rookie in 2021. Let's bring in the 8-year-old gelding she calls Junior. All the way to 3. Come on back.
Okay, so I'm just kind of driving and reflecting on where I'm at right now with Junior and just kind of in my life, because some things have went haywire recently and just reminded me that I can plan all I want to plan and have these grand ideas for my future, but at the end of the day, there's some things I just can't control. So back in, the very end of last year, I decided to make the jump and leave my full-time finance job and just do real estate full-time, so that way I could also rodeo full-time and have that flexibility. So it was a pretty scary leap, because a finance job, F&I as we call it, is a pretty high-paying position, especially for a female. And it was a great dealership I worked for. I loved working there. I had been there for over 4 years. But I just knew, with these horses, whenever one of those special horses come into your life, they call them once-in-a-lifetime horses for a reason, because you may never get another one. And I don't have the funds to just go write a check for a horse like Junior. So I felt like, it's time for us to kind of go for it, whether it be this year or next year, but to try to make that FR. I feel like I have the horse that's able to do it, and we haven't quite put it all together yet. We're still learning together and getting seasoned, the both of us, but I feel like we have the ability for sure. And I prayed and prayed about it, and I sat down and analyzed everything for a very, very long time. And my heart just told me, Ashley, you could always get another finance job. Maybe not the one you have now, because people don't quit from that job, but somewhere. And I could always go back to work if, things don't go as planned, but I can never replace Junior. And once his window of opportunity is up, then that's over. And I don't want to be the person who just worked a job for their whole life just to make a bunch of money and never chase their dreams when the opportunity was in front of them. And I prayed for a very long time for a horse like Junior, and I knew he would come into my life. Sorry, I'm trying not to cry. I knew he would come into my life at some point. I didn't know when, but I knew whenever he did, I would be a good steward of that gift that God's given me. So anyway, I decided to make the leap from my job and do real estate full-time, and had a fair amount of success with that pretty quickly. And Junior and I was having a decent year this year. Obviously, everything didn't go completely as planned, but I started to figure some things out. We had placed at like 10 rodeos in a row. He was feeling great. And I went to Texas, and I knew after Montgomery and a couple other circuit rodeos, he had placed at all 3 that weekend, but he just wasn't right. I knew it was time for some maintenance. So I went to North Texas with him. Stopped home on the Sunday for about 8 hours, slept, went to North Texas to Outlaw Equine, and did some maintenance there on him. And while we were there, we got hit by a tornado. My trailer is going to be totaled. I'm still dealing with that right now, but it has like $54,000 of damage to it, minimum. So I really wanted to come home after that incident. I just had a bad feeling about the trip, and I said, I just want to come home. But I decided to keep going because I was entered in several rodeos in Texas, including San Angelo, which San Angelo is a big paying rodeo, and I felt like Junior could do really well there. So the first rodeo I went to after we had the maintenance done at Outlaw, and we took my trailer to NRS. They got me up and running and got it watertight, because it has, like, the roof has to be replaced and all kinds of stuff. But they got it safe for me to haul my horses, so that way I could deal with the trailer later, but I could still go to the rodeos. So NRS got me on the road and fixed my trailer up. Outlaw fixed my horses up. And the first rodeo, I ran Junior to the first barrel, and he fell pretty bad, which Junior doesn't ever fall. He's very sure-footed. It kind of scared him. Not kind of, it did. I've never had to pull him up in the middle of a run, and when I did, it just freaked him out. He tried to buck. I mean, it was just a disaster. Oh my God. Thankfully I made it out there safe, and I thought Junior was okay. I didn't feel like there was anything wrong or whatever, so I decided to go to the other rodeos in San Angelo, and we just flat out didn't clock. So I brought him home, and I said, you know, I kind of feel a little something when I'm exercising him to the left. He just kind of got a little square on me instead of saying shaped up, but I just thought he was just kind of being a jerk because I had gave him some time off. And we were off for about 10 days, and then I went to another rodeo, Longview, Texas, and we were 7/10 off. And I just couldn't believe it. I said, man, something's wrong. And anyway, I decided to stay in Texas and call Dr. Tanner, Dr. Marty Tanner at Tanner Equine, on Monday, and just pray that they would have an opening. It's so hard to get an appointment there because he's so busy. So Monday I called, and Deanna's receptionist said, we have an opening Thursday morning. So I stayed, actually I went to a friend's house in South Oklahoma and stayed there, and went to Dr. Tanner's on the Thursday. And driving up there, I was on the phone with my husband, and he said, what's wrong? Why do you sound so depressed? I said, well, I know what's wrong with Junior. He said, how could you possibly know what's wrong? Well, you see, back in 2020, Junior had a suspensory injury. There was no tears, but he was injured, and he had to be off for several months. I didn't really share that with anyone. But he came back 100%, and he's been doing great for the past 2 years. So anyway, I knew that we had just did maintenance on everything there is to maintain on him that we would normally do. And the only thing left in my mind was that suspensory, or the foot. And I knew it wasn't the foot. And sure enough, as soon as we got to Tanner's, I mean, we blocked him so that way we could kind of pinpoint where the problem is. And right away he said, it's a suspensory, which I knew. So we ultrasounded it, and the good news is it's not nearly as bad as it was when he initially injured it, because I caught it early. So we don't have as far to go to fix it, if you will, to heal it. And there's no tears in it either. So that's good. The bad news is he's going to be off for months. So we did PRP, platelet-rich plasma, and shockwave therapy to try to speed up healing time on it. And I have to go back there in a couple weeks, and Dr. Tanner's going to re-ultrasound it and measure it to see how much progress he's made. And at that point, we're going to decide if we have to do a fasciotomy and do a surgery. no matter what, I'm very blessed. I'm very thankful because I'm going to have a horse that's going to compete again and it's going to be okay. Because he could have a career-ending injury. You know, there's so many things that could happen that could have been worse. It is very frustrating. And, you know, it's just, for so many years, I dream of just going rodeo, and I made this huge leap. I sold my place and downsized to this little place that's nothing special, to say the least. But, you know, and put all my eggs in this basket of going rodeo. And just that quick, the rug's ripped out from under me. And, you know, in May, we have a bunch of circuit rodeos that I thought, hey, look, I can kind of lock down my circuit finals and qualify for that, hopefully in May. Well, I'm going to miss out on those. And I'm probably going to miss the 4th of July run. So my goals for this year are very likely to completely change. And at this point, my goal is to get my horse sound and healthy. And, you know, watching Junior every day breaks my heart because I don't normally keep my horses stalled. They have a stall, but it opens up into, you know, several acres so they can just be horses and be free. And whenever we got home from Dr. Tanner's, his normal process is, oh, mom turns me loose, I go roll in the sand and I go play. And he wasn't able to do that, and I could just, like, swear he just looks depressed. So every day I take a hot wire pin and I set it up in the grass about the size of a horse stall, so that way he can at least get out of the actual stall and eat some grass and feel like a horse a little bit. And I'll let him try to roll on the lead rope so he can, you know, do that, which is something he very much enjoys. So but one funny thing is, you know, I was worried about Junior just being alone in the stall and the other horses being out and him just being depressed about it. And I had a little friend that showed up at the house, who I named Earl, by the way. And come to find out, I found out later, he moseyed from pretty far distance down the road from the neighbors, and the neighbor said he's 6 months old and that we can have him. Well, Junior, the only experience I've had with Junior and pigs, he was terrified, like absolutely terrified of pigs, like big time. So I thought for sure, like, we're gonna have to catch this pig and get rid of it or something. Well, Junior loves this pig. Like, they are best friends. They're together all the time. Earl is always up under Junior's legs, and Junior's so careful not to step on him. He shares his food with him. Like, what? But I swear, it's like God sent Earl to us. I know that probably sounds so stupid, but it's like a gift to help Junior get through this and help me get through this, to know that Junior has a companion with him and somebody to keep him busy. And I tell you, since Earl's been there, it's like Junior's just more at peace with his situation. He's not trying to get out the stall and be all stressed out. But anywho, I just wanted to kind of share that with y'all. And no matter what, I'm gonna keep my head up, and I'm gonna use this time off from Junior as an opportunity to get my colt going, get myself as fit as possible, and make as much money in my real estate business as I can, so that way when Junior is ready, maybe he will be ready by July, who knows, then we can get back at it and we'll be better, in a better position than we were whenever we had to have this time off, and hopefully be better than ever. So